You're listening to Parenting Our Future with certified parent coach Robbin McManne, author of The Yelling Cure and founder of Parenting for Connection. My podcast is all about providing you with the tools and solutions you need in your parenting so you can create the family you always wanted. Hey everybody, it's Robbin here. Welcome back to Parenting Our Future. I'm here with a really special guest, Amy Klein, and she is a former online TV host, as well as coming up through the world of corporate leadership, building billion dollar products. Daughter. Not daughter. We're going to talk a lot about daughters today. And she's also a mom to a 6-year-old boy and a 3-year-old daughter. So there's the daughter connection right there. Well, I just want to welcome you, Amy. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. Yes.
Yeah, this is great. Now we're going to talk all about Courage Academy, and just tell me what this is all about. What are you guys trying to do?
Yeah, sure. So a co-founder of the Courageous brand with my partner, Kelly Roach. And we have our mission. It's an educational and a retail company where our goal is to instill courage, confidence, entrepreneurial, and leadership skills in the girls of our future. So we have the educational side, which is our Entre Girls Leadership Academy. And then we also have our retail side, which is Wear Your Courage. So for you asking about the Courage Academy, which is our Entre Girls Leadership Academy, it's really the world's first online learning community for girls about 8, I would say 7. We have a couple 7-year-olds in there to about 16, 17, where we work with these girls on entrepreneurial skills, leadership skills, building their courage and confidence, and also building a network of strong, positive women and girls and mentors for them.
Yeah, that's so great. The Etcha Girls is something that we've talked about on this podcast. I had Elena on, and we talked all about it. It is so fantastic. It's such a great program. Having girls see, real life mentors and women who are successful and saying, hey, look, I was like you when I was a tween or a teen, right? So that's really great to show them real positive female role models, right? Who are kicking butt either as an entrepreneur or as working in the corporate world, right? So that's fantastic. But tell me, why did you feel that there was a need for this? This is all great, but what is where did you come from to put this all together?
Yeah. So my daughter she's 3 now. She's almost 4. It was about 5 years ago. I was pregnant with my daughter, and my partner, Kelly, and I, we knew we were going to do something along these lines for a while. We've been friends since our first days in freshman in college together. And I found out I was pregnant with a daughter. She has a daughter I have a son who's 6. Her daughter is 2 weeks older than my son. It's crazy. And we were just trying to we had been talking about being in leadership roles and in managing men versus women. For me, I can give my personal story. Kelly's is pretty similar, but just seeing a lot of disparities between men and women in terms of confidence and self-worth, and really being vocal about their opinions, and I saw a lot of self-doubt. Can I have a child and be a manager? Can I continue my corporate career and have children? So there was a lot of seeing the lack thereof of confidence in women and going for it. And then the other portion of it is that most of my mentors were great, but they were male. I had some unfortunate experiences with women, and it just seemed like the higher that women go up in an organization, not necessarily. I think we're doing a way better job now. There's more women. Not necessarily there's less there, but they're less likely to send the elevator back down. And I think that's an us problem, not a male problem. That is something that we need to look at ourselves and see what we can do, and remember that we are all so much alike. We have children, right? We have families, and there's so much that we can do as women to support other women. And I did not have that experience, and I don't see that enough. So we came together and we were like, how can we change this? What do we feel like we have that could stop this? And our feelings where we both had courage and we both had confidence. We were courageous to start a company together. Kelly has another company where she scales businesses online. And we were confident in ourselves in doing this. So we thought if we could foundationally teach girls this at a young age, that we would see more women in the future sending the elevator back down, going out and being mentors for each other, and see girls more confident to believe in the power of you, as we say, to make your dreams come true.
Mm. You know, what I really like about that, I think, is that in any situation at any age, you know, for girls to be aware of, you know, always reaching back to lift another girl up, right? We aren't as good at that. And you're right.
Agree.
And in my experience, in my corporate career before I became a parent coach is the same. I mean, I remember, you know, I'm a pretty, like, you know, fun and funny kind of person, and I remember like having to be careful because they would call me dramatic. I'm like, I'm not dramatic, I'm just enthusiastic, you know. Like, but that isn't a word you would use for a guy, right? If he was enthusiastic, we'd be like, oh, we love his energy, he's great, right? But no, I was dramatic. And I remember no, I wasn't there for this, but there was a bunch of executives in a boardroom, and one of them was female, and she was the same, you know, same rank, if you will, as everybody else. And they kept making her do the notes for the meeting. And she finally, it wasn't until she kind of had like a freak out that she's like, okay, enough. Somebody else needs to do this. I am not your secretary, right? Like, that's the kind of stuff that happens, right? And I did see it a lot too, where there were a lot of women who, you know, I guess I can kind of understand, you fight so hard to get that spot, right? You know, you fought twice as hard, and it's almost like you don't want to help anybody else because you work so hard to get where you are, right? But that's not the way. Like, and I think the other thing is when you talk about us becoming parents, becoming moms, you know, we're also doing that amazing work, and now we're doing that amazing work at home too. So like, we need to celebrate each other because we are really incredible women. Women are so incredible. So I love that so much. I think that's so fantastic. And you have pillars within the Courageous brand that you sort of follow. What are those pillars?
Yeah, so we believe it's courage, it's confidence, it's entrepreneurial skills or entrepreneurial mindset, and leadership skills are our pillars to building a courageous trailblazer, as we call it, our girls.
And so why did you pick courage and confidence?
Because, I mean, that's really, as we launched the company, we're the Courageous brand, because without courage and without confidence, you are not going to achieve your dreams. Like, our slogan is believe in the power of you to make your dreams come true. And confidence really is believing in you and trusting yourself, right? And courage is that positive risk taking, right? That's the I know this is going to be really uncomfortable. I know I'm scared to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And if you don't have courage to go out there and get comfortable with being uncomfortable and take positive risks, and if you don't have confidence and you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to achieve your goals. And that's what we want. We want to see every girl be happy, and whatever your goals are for you, that you have the courage and confidence to go get it.
So how do you teach that? Because I know there's a lot of girls right now that are struggling, you know, for lots of different reasons. How do you teach courage and confidence? Let's start with confidence, because I know there are people listening right now that are worried about their child who doesn't seem to have a lot of confidence. What do you do?
Well, I like to say that confidence, it's not practice makes perfect, it's practice makes confidence. Practice builds confidence. So the more you get your child comfortable with the uncomfortable and practicing and taking perfect action every day, the more confident they're going to become. So whatever their goal is, if they want to be the next Mia Hamm in soccer or Meryl Streep as an actress, that they're taking imperfect action every day to build that confidence muscle. So, you know, we have Google. They can Google scripts. I'm looking at you through my cell phone, right? And I can practice. I could stare at myself and I could practice scripts all day. I could take an hour a day, every single day, to get better and better and better and get more confident in myself. So confidence comes with practice and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think the best way to do that with our children, and if you're looking at your daughter who's not confident in something, is to help her just go for it every day and learn that it's not going to be perfect. It's probably never going to be perfect, but you're going to get better and better at it the more you practice.
I can't even tell you how much I love that. Like, that is so great. I didn't know that's where you're going, and I love that you did that, because let's be honest. We've got to stop trying to chase this perfection. It's not real anyway. And like, let's remember, for us mamas and parents, like, there's no such thing as that perfect mother. And honestly, if you knew her, wouldn't you kind of hate her anyway?
You're like,
which means she's not perfect, right? Like, oh,
totally, exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we don't need that. That is, and it's okay to make mistakes. And I love that that's what you're teaching. Like, just do it. It's okay if you make mistakes. It's okay. And I'm sure along with that, you teach them, like, to go easy on themselves and to accept failure, to accept, the missteps of life, right?
It is. It's praising the progress, not the results. Because it's not about, listen, not everybody is going to be an A student. And if somebody's super smart and they get an A without trying, I'm not really impressed. But I am impressed by the child who is a C student and works their tail off and ends up with a B, right? Because it's about the process and what you put into it and the growth in the experience. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes to all of that. It's so true, right? If you just focus on the grade, you don't see the wonder that is in the C+ or the B, right? You don't see the hard work that it took to get there. Absolutely. That's so important. And we all need to think that way, right? We all need to drop the facade of perfectionism, because like we just said, it doesn't exist anyway, right? Let's celebrate the process. It's so true. And I talk about that all the time, when we praise our kids, that it's process praise, not person praise, right? So, so I think that's totally aligned with what I talk about all the time as well. So I love that. So we're talking about, raising girls with leadership skills, and what exactly does that mean?
So things that we practice in our Entre Girls Leadership Academy are things. So to be a leader, I think what the misconception is it means you need to be managing people, or we're talking about the leader of your life. And when we talk about entrepreneurial and leadership skills, which I can get into after that, I like to call it survival skills to be successful, because leadership skills really mean like conflict resolution, right? Being able to solve problem solving. It means being able to negotiate, having negotiation skills. It means listening skills. It means direct communication, learning how to communicate properly. That's what it means to be a leader. It's being empathetic, self-awareness. Self-awareness is really important as a leader, and to be the leader of your life. This applies to all aspects of your life to make you successful.
100%. I couldn't agree more. And I just want to say, I'm pretty excited about this next generation. If they have you teaching them all of this, we're going to have some pretty amazing leaders of companies and brands. Because look, you being empathetic as a leader doesn't make you weak. It makes you stronger. You having good communication skills to be able to express yourself and listen to others is also very important. So I so applaud you for that. That is really powerful lessons that you're teaching these girls. My goodness, it's almost like it's groundbreaking, but it should be taught to every person, shouldn't it? Really, everybody.
Totally, yes.
Girls. Because boys
I just think it's a boxed thing. As for my generation, if you were learning about leadership, it's because you wanted to get into corporate America and manage and lead people, versus being a leader is important no matter what you want to do in life. It's the same thing with entrepreneurial skills. It's the same thing. They're survival skills to be successful at what you're doing. You need them to be an entrepreneur, but you need them in all aspects of your life.
Yeah. Well, and as an entrepreneur myself, and you are, I mean, you get butt kicked on a pretty regular basis, right?
Yeah. Oh, I sure do.
Oh my gosh, you need resilience. You need communication. You need to be able to pick yourself up off the floor.
100%. And you
Yeah.
need that in life to achieve any goal. Nothing is going to come easy. So,
That's right. I love the way Rick Hansen, Dr. Rick Hansen talks about it. He's like, just in the backpack of life, you've got these extra tools. So if and when the bottom falls out, you've got these things to rely on, right? You don't necessarily need them every day, but I mean, every day they can be useful to you for sure. So
100%.
yeah,
Yep.
that's so great. I just love that so much. And so why would you say it's the like this is timely? What is it about this time that really makes you take a look at our daughters, at our girls, and say, you know what, we got to give them a bit more help and support?
Well, I think it's two things. From the timely aspect, I would say we're living in a social media world where things are portrayed very perfect all the time, right?
Mm,
And this is what the girls are seeing. And I think there's something in every generation. What we had, there was things that were bad too. And social media is a wonderful vehicle as an entrepreneur, that as well. And it's great, but it's also scary because girls are seeing things that are not that are curated, that are perfect, and it's not
mm,
real. So that would
mm.
be the timely aspect of teaching girls courage and confidence and these other skills. But also just because I feel for myself that where I'm at in my life, I learned these skills later on. I learned these skills from working hard and building a business and being in corporate America. And I would have loved these skills that you don't learn in school right away. I would have loved these skills at a foundational level so I didn't have to learn later in life.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Yeah, it's like on the job learning when you're stuck in it,
Right.
right? Yeah, yeah, that's so true. Well, and that is such a great point about social media, right? But unfortunately, like attracts like. So, whatever you like on social media is what you start to see everywhere, and that
Sure.
gives you a really narrow view of really what's going on in the world, right? And that can be dangerous to your self-esteem. I think our girls are really at risk for that. So I'm really really excited that you're doing something about it because it's so necessary. It's so necessary, and I see it. My kids are in their teens, and I do see. I see more depression. I
Oh,
see a lot more struggle in our kids. Boys are struggling too. uh,
sure. I
and
agree. The mental health is bad for both. Yes.
yeah, it's scary, and we need to just be aware of it. We need to be aware.
Hmm.
So this is so important that we're talking about this. One of the things that you have on your site, by the way, I just have to say the retail stuff is the cutest stuff
Thank
ever. Oh
you.
my gosh. You have like leggings and sweatshirts and t-shirts all with this like giant lightning bolts. You've got like authentic on there. I love it so much. It's really great product. So please go to it's givehercourage.com.
Yeah, givehercourage.com. And the lightning bolt for us, really, the significance of it is just that lightning bolt represents power. And when you believe in yourself, you're giving yourself the power to go do what you want in this world.
Love it. And I just think you wear that, you sort of square your shoulders a little bit more. You're just
You
like,
like
yep,
it?
here I am, right?
Totally.
This is me.
Yes.
I love it. I love it so much. But you also have on this site, you have blog posts, which I love. And so there are some real look. If you're not in the Entre Girls Leadership Academy, you can still benefit from the work that you're doing, right? And so you've got these great blogs, quick tips on teaching your daughter to command respect. Like, yes, please. That's
Mhm.
fantastic. 5 ways to be radically resilient. I love it. Why your daughter doesn't have to wait to achieve her dreams. I mean, that is all like such juicy content. I love it. It's so good. It's so
Yes.
good. Tell me though, if you don't mind, if you
Sure.
can, let's talk about commanding respect. I want the leader or the listeners here to hear how would you get your daughter to command respect?
Well, I think commanding respect is one of the most important things that we should instill in our daughters, because that is the woman then who's going to come into a meeting and she's going to, speak up. She's going to say her opinion, and she's going to get things done. So the things that you can do, I would say the first thing, the most important thing, is making sure that your daughter is worthy of respect. That's really important.
Mm.
I just think generationally, there's a lot of things with people, this entitlement, right? And
Mm.
it's like, I can just show up and that's okay. No, like if your daughter's in a group project and she is doing what is asked of her in her portion of the project, right? There's accountability in that. She has the right to then say to somebody in the group who may be behind, hey, what's going on? I want to try to understand why you're not meeting the deadlines. The group, I've done this, she's done this, he's done this. This is where we're at. The project's due January 7th. Let us know what's going on and how we can get you to make sure you hit the deadlines, right? Because she is worthy of the respect because she's doing what she's supposed to be doing.
Mm.
Immediately when your daughter is held accountable to the thing she said she was going to do, she will start to learn this idea of commanding respect because she knows she deserves it because she worked for it. So that's the first part. A lot of girls don't have that feeling of it deserving it because they weren't held accountable to doing it. So when
Yeah.
we're held accountable to doing something, we're going to command respect more. And the next thing, this kind of goes hand in hand, we teach this with confidence on camera, is really teaching our daughters to look people in the eyes. Make sure we're looking them in the eyes. Make sure, you can do this at a young age in a restaurant with your kids. Don't order for them. Don't order for them. Make them order. I don't care. My daughter's 3 and I have her order and say please and thank you and look somebody in the eyes when they're doing it, right? It's posture. It's teaching those kind of things that your body language and the way that you communicate, the direct communication skills, which we teach as well, how to listen, right? Listen to what someone's saying and how to be direct in how you say it. These are all skills that you can teach that will teach her how to command respect.
Wow, that's great. Wow. Really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. I really like that. Like worthy of respect. Yeah. Respect begets respect, right? You've got to show up
You
in
gotta
a
earn it.
Yeah, that's right. Wow, that's really great. Well, I just think everything you're doing is fantastic. And, from the resources you have to the apparel that you have, it's really beautiful. You have jewelry too with the little lightning bolts and all sorts
Yeah.
of different things as well, really for women and for girls, right? So moms as well as daughters can be a part of this. How do girls become members of the Leadership Academy?
Yeah, so there's 2 ways. So first I'll go back to if there's other ways they want to benefit. We do have the blog post, but we have a private Facebook group for moms with daughters.
Okay.
It's called Courageous Moms, Confident Daughters. And every week I come in and give a tip. On Tuesdays, Kelly gives her tips on Thursdays. We have experts that come in, whether it be an expert on teaching girls about positive body image and moms how to work with that, or, fashion on the flash. All things that are relevant to raising a daughter 7 or 8 to 16. That is free in the Courageous Moms, Confident Daughters group.
That's
So that's on
awesome.
Facebook. They just have to answer a series of questions. We always want to protect the girls and their moms, of
Yeah.
course, and that's free. We're on Instagram. We have a little IGTV series called Mother Hustlers, and that's at
Yes.
Give Her Courage. That's free. And then, of course, our Entre Girls Leadership Academy is a paid for service. You can go to our website to sign up. Someone on our team, even if you just want to have a consult to see if it's right for you and your daughter, really for your daughter, you can just send and inquire about information and someone on our team will contact them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so great. I love that. Courageous Moms, Confident Daughters
Mhm.
Facebook group. That is fantastic. Thank you for doing that and for having a safe place for them because those questions, to gain entry are really important. I have a private
Yes.
group as well, right? And we need to keep everybody safe in there because, sometimes you
The
just
wild
don't know.
world.
It is the
Yes.
wild world out there, the wild social world out there. So, Amy, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the work that you're doing for our daughters. We need this. We need this so much, especially for this generation that's coming up. The world is more complicated and more confusing than ever. And I know that they're worried about it. I know that they are, wondering what's the point. And that is a lot of what these teens are facing. These tweens and teens, these young adults are facing, this world seems so complicated. So giving them some hope, giving them some skills is absolutely vital to watch our kids thrive. So this is really important. Thank you.
Yeah. And I would say too, like the mentors in the academy, I think mentorship is so important. We bring in 6, 7, 8 figure CEOs. We bring in experts for mom on because obviously we're not psychologists, we can use on positive body imaging, how to deal with like social media bullying, how to be unique and stand out. So there's so many mentors for the girls. And then the other portion is the inner circle, we like to call it, which is they're building relationships with girls that are going to challenge them in a positive way, help them learn networking skills, which is important with girls. So you have your one click in group, and maybe you have your soccer club and you have something else. Well, now you have friends all across the country, and we have people outside the states. And you could, if you're into STEM, you'll find maybe you're in California and your friends in New Jersey, and you'll meet up someday, or there'll be a job opportunity. And it's really important to teach them those networking skills and challenge them in a good way with these girls in the group.
That is awesome. Thank you, Amy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of this. This is fantastic. And I hope everybody will check out what you guys are doing on givehercourage.com.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this edition of my podcast, Parenting Our Future. I'm parent coach Robbin McManne, and if you're enjoying this podcast, please share it with someone who you think might also need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe, and if you like my work, I would be grateful if you gave me a 5-star rating. For those of you who like my content and want more, visit me at yellingcurebook.com to get your copy of my book and to find other resources to help you. Until next time, I am wishing you and your family peace and connection.